Hello children, let us move further to the next topic. We know that there are many organelles of the cell and within the cell there is a cell membrane. Now this cell membrane, that is the selectively permeable membrane, allows materials to move in and out of the cell. Now how does the movement of this material take place? We have seen that many gases even move in and out of the body through diffusion. You have learned about diffusion in your earlier classes. When we talk about diffusion, it is a process through which materials move from a higher concentration to the lower concentration. When we talk about the gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, when within the body, in the cell, when the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, then the carbon dioxide present outside the cell. So, when the concentration inside is higher and outside it is lower, when there is a proper difference between the concentration of the carbon dioxide inside the cell and outside the cell, the carbon dioxide from the higher concentration, that is from the cell, moves out towards the outside of the body through to the lower concentration. Same thing happens with oxygen. When the concentration of carbon dioxide inside the body is low, the oxygen that is having higher concentration outside the body enters the body. So this is how exchange of gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place in our body through the process of diffusion. Same thing applies to water. Water also follows the phenomenon of diffusion. So, the movement of water molecules through a selective permeable membrane is termed as osmosis. Now, osmosis also depends upon the concentration of the substance that is present in the object. Now, passage of the water from a higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane to a region of lower concentration is termed as osmosis. Now, we have experienced this in many processes that takes place around us. I have got an activity for you. I have just selected some resins. Now, these resins are the ones which are dried. So, they are shrunk. Now, when I have taken this shrinked resins and put them in a solution of water, when I put them in water, they swell. So, you can see that when the concentration of water is a permeable membrane which enters the resins and the resins get swollen up. Now, when I again dip this resins in a concentrated solution of salt or sugar, what happens to these resins? When I dip this swollen resins in the concentrated solution of salt, and when I kept it for some time, and when I observed this resin, I could find that, I'll not tell what happened. Now you have to do this activity and find out when these resins are dipped in the higher concentration of salt and water, salt or sugar, what happens next? Okay, so this was an activity which showed the process of osmosis and how diffusion takes place inside any material, where the semi-permeable membrane allows the transfer of material from outside environment to the cell. With this, we end the phenomenon of diffusion and osmosis. Now we move further to the next topic, that what happens when a plant cell or an animal cell is dipped in water. So what happens when we dip a plant cell or animal cell in water, but that water should be a solution of salt or sugar solution. So there are three conditions that apply when we dip a plant or animal cell in a concentrated solution of sugar or salt. Now, if the concentration of the outside environment is lower than the concentration of the object, then what will happen? The cell will get swollen. So you can say that the concentration of the inside material is higher than the external environment. So the cell will get swollen because the material will move from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So such kind of concentration is known as hypertonic solution. The second condition of dipping the plant or animal cell in a solution, if the solution has the same concentration as that of the concentration that is present within the cell, then there will be no change. So the cell size will remain as it is, and such type of solution is termed as isotonic solution. Now there is a third condition which shows that if the concentration of the cell outside is more than the concentration of the cell within is less, what would happen? The cell will shrink. Very good. The cell will shrink. So this kind of solution is known as hypotonic solution. So depending upon the concentration of the object or the material and the cell within and about the concentration in the external environment, there are three types of solution, that is the hypertonic solution. Hyper means more, iso that is neutral. So isotonic solution, and the third one is hypotonic solution. Now we'll move on to the next organelles in the next video. If you have any doubts, you can ask me anytime. Thank you.